Hello. Welcome to Code Hangout number 58. Let's see if I can get that into the chat. And yeah, of course. I'm gonna just do that. Don't do that. Okay. Oh, don't want that. And we want. Nope, we don't want that either. Give me this one. Alright. Let's hope that the restream chat works today. It's had some issues. Alright, as usual, let me know if the audio is good or bad, or the music's still out, or quiet, etc, etc, etc. Today, we're going to look at an issue with selection where if I drag over from here, it does not recognize the mouse down event. And I think that has to do with me reusing a generic drag to scroll component because I couldn't get it to work on mobile phones properly. And that was like one of the few changes I've made there. So let's have a quick look. Make grab scroll handler. So I think this is the code that I've now reused here and in the calculator. And let's have a quick look. So this is the one. Let's see. Nope. 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 This is not what I'm looking for. I wanted to fold on this. No? I have a feeling fold folding is broken again. Fold! And 3. Close enough, I think. So 2782, 2782. Here we go. And where else did I find it? In calculator and here. Yeah, the 2 times I'm using it. Okay, that's fine. And Mark had a look at this, and it has to do with. So he sent me a couple of links. This one and this one, and then these. So let's have a quick look at these. See if there's some basic wisdom we can extrapolate out of these. Or we can learn together here. Capture all mouse events after mouse down. So capture mouse event, yeah. So this is what he was talking about. The question is, if I'm not implementing it globally, can I implement that selectively for this rule scroller? I think so. The problem is, what happens is we start the scrolling, but we're also starting selecting, which we shouldn't. Right. So let's have a quick look at the rule scroller code. So here we're just gonna do the start and stop. Right? And now as I'm dragging this, it should simply say start and stop. Start and stop. Okay. Now, similarly, we want to see when our native selection handler kicks in. And that happens on input down. And we want to see where that gets grabbed. Attach. Okay, handle input down. So we'll do a quick handle input down log and a handle input up log. So I'm guessing as I'm dragging this, that happens as well. But the stop doesn't happen. Okay, and that's exactly where the problem comes. So what's happening down here is that the stop halts propagation. And the reason I'm doing this is to enable clicking. So clicking has to go through. And that's the problem here. So that's okay. So the problem is that we want, I am simulating button presses by tap down, not tap up. Problem is using tap down, so tap up makes things feel sluggish and bad, and I don't like that. So there might be an easy fix because there's no clicks on here. Obviously we don't want selection. The rules dialog, we could patch it out. For the calculator, the problem is we want, and there's no cages here. I need an example with some cages. Get me, I think this should do the trick. Ah, no, that's not gonna give us a big cage. Do I have just... One sec, do we just have a standard... but I'm just realizing our standard demos we can't use because they don't actually have rules in them. Let me grab something from the puzzle archive quickly. I just need something with some killer cages. Or let me grab... no, let me just grab something. Gotta be something with killer cages. Oh, killer cages. Here we go. Let's grab this quickly. That take us to compression. All right, that old hat. All right, so we need something with a cage with lots of options. All right, this is not it then. We need a big cages, ideally without sums. These big cages have some, so they won't gonna have a lot of options. This is some sort of weird broken cage thing. So this one might not work properly at all, but we're gonna just check it out anyways. Why do I always find it so hard to find good demos? I find it so hard. I need to get my editor working so I can... Let's see, 7 cage has 4 options. No, it needs to be a big cage. Otherwise we're never gonna get enough options in there. Or a big cage or an unlabeled cage. Or a small unlabeled cage. Smallish, medium-sized unlabeled cage actually, because if they're too small... Oh, this one has... Nope, that's not what I wanted. This one has all sorts of unlabeled cages. Okay, what we got? Oh yeah, 126. I saw it. Ah, perfect. Scroll. So let's see what happens here. So if I click down here and go over, no, if I click down here, then we get that. Okay. If I do this, I scroll. Wait. Stop. So this blocks clicks through, while this does not. And that's what we actually want. That is much more powerful. Now I have a suspicion that the click-throughs here get blocked in the calculator itself. So let's have a quick look on how the events are handled in the calculator. So, handle, scroll, handle, act, handle, start, handle, scroll, mouse up, touch in. So we've done all this here. Quite messy, actually. Okay. Let's see what our correct folding here is. 3, no, 4, no, 2, no, 3. It's 3, okay. So we are handling click and down. So let's log these out. So here we're killing pass-ons ourselves, and that's probably what's fixing it, or what's causing the problem to not be a problem. Click and click. Clear. Now, to do this. So the killer down is this is what's preventing that from happening. So in other words, all I need to do is handle down. Okay, so the question is, one thought I'm having is, can I build this into the scroller script? Now the scroller script is only delivering our handler. And you see, I can't block it here. I can only block it one level down, because if I blocked it here, then this is never gonna hit, right? So killer handler handle down. So I can click here. Handle down, stop, handle down. So we have start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. So what exactly happens? Down, start, stop. So here I am doing it that way, that up is our click event. So where I'm handling that click, because the click this doesn't fire. Killer calculator handle click is not firing at all. Handle click details. Okay, that's probably the one. And which order are these happening? Select that, select that, open that, clear that. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, drag, up. So handle click details does not get triggered here. Remove down handler. This details element. Detention. Click handler. So up event handler. Calculator handle click. The handle down. Handle click never happens. Are these running in reverse order? Wait a second. So handle click details gets added here and removed. Wait a second. We're removing the down handler, we're adding the up handler. Something is wrong here. Uh-oh. Is this getting called multiple times as we're... If I do this, open this. If I now remove the whole thing, add it back in, open it again. And down handle click, down handle click. I have a feeling these calls are not the reverse of these. handle, up event handler, handle, remove, down event handler, handler. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna, first we're gonna make this a little bigger because for you guys, I'm just realizing I'm here in my regular work mode where things are a little smaller than what is good for the stream. Hey Mark, thanks for stopping by. I'm just kind of unraveling these things because the calculator works. Now the reason why it is the way it is was because I always like to use touch down as the click rather than up. But of course when you're pressing down you don't know yet if it's gonna be a drag instead, so you cannot avoid the click. So here I don't know, in this case this, in fact let me see if I can get a, can I just make these rules bigger? You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat and I'm going to add something to the rules. Default rules. Get rules text. Rules text plus. Just going to add this again. Nope, I'm going to add this twice. Just so I can force some scrolling. There we go. So, and now we have the select issue, right? So I'm going down, the scrolling starts, and I'm going up, and I'm stopping the up event. But I can't stop the down event, because the down event, at the time, we don't know yet if we're going to scroll or click. And that's probably what I'm doing wrong. Now, for the calculator, I'm doing the other way around. No, it's not introduced intensified. It was introduced because of a refactoring I did. The funny thing is though, the calculator does it correctly, so the calculator doesn't cause it, right? So basically what happens in the calculator, so what happens in the touch system, right? The touch system, the scroll system only prevents the event if scrolling actually occurs. And of course it cannot prevent it on down because we don't know yet if we're clicking, because on the calculator, I want to be able to click on these, right? I have to figure out exactly why sometimes that click. That's another thing. Let me put that on the to-do list. It's not important. I'll put it on number 3. Basically, the calculator sometimes touch location is not accurate. Details. So basically, sometimes the touch location on phones is not quite accurate. It's like a line up or line down, so I have to figure something out. But anyway, so basically what happens is, because I want to be able to click or drag, right? It waits for the mouse up event, which is prevented if dragging has occurred. And if no dragging has occurred, you haven't dragged it whatever the minimum distance is, right? So there's some sort of minimum drag distance, has scrolled. And I think the minimum drag distance here is anything, right? So that's probably not great, because it's very easy on touch especially to move by like pixel as your finger, the tip of your finger rolls over the surface. It's very easy when you're just touching down briefly as your skin compresses for the touch point to move, right? Now it hasn't actually happened to me when I was using it, but it's probably because it's a fancy phone. So I definitely, and in fact in the similar stuff happening in the regular script, you can see there's a minimum distance before dragging gets detected. For now, what I want to do is, first of all, I want to clean some things up, because I'm realizing here I'm adding up handlers and then I'm removing down handlers. So I have a feeling that the click details event handler isn't actually removed correctly, but since I'm removing the object, it's actually not causing any problems, right? So first of all, let's look at this one. We're adding an up handler, so we're removing an up handler. So that I just completely screwed it up without any consequences, because these, I shouldn't need them. I just like to clean up handlers properly. So secondly, here I'm I'm removing these, and I'm also looking at window, mouse up and touch end, handle scroll. So because, okay, so I guess I could add these to this one. Okay, so these two things, I think I want to add them to like a second helper function here. So But before I do this, I think I need to acknowledge that I'm obviously here. I'm doing it this way. Oh. Yeah. So you see, I'm doing the same thing multiple places in different ways. The music's a bit loud. Oops, sorry. Let's see if I can. It's very hard to reduce it because it's almost at like the lowest setting that I can get to with the scroller. Is that better? And it's so quiet for me, like I barely hear it, but it's fine. Is that better? Could just be that I'm too quiet and overall the volume's a bit unbalanced. So first of all, I'm gonna create a little helper that does these things. So we have the make grab scroll handler. And now we basically want to do these 2 things, or these 5 things here. The one issue I have here is it wants to remove the existing one and then potentially create a new one. I think we can alleviate this by basically checking if we'll pass a handler in, and if it exists, we'll do these. Yeah, I think that's the first step. All right, so we'll do attach scroll handler. Make grab scroll handler. So this one gets called here. So instead of this, can we... The problem is it needs a reference to the scroll, the previous one, to be able to remove it. And if it's the one that's creating the reference, we need to be able to pass it in. We'll need to pass in the element. Okay, so we need elem and prev handler, something like this. Right? And then it's basically all of this, which I believe is correct. And we're gonna clean this up a little. Since this is the same as that, we're gonna add these 2 to that list here. And they're already there, so I don't know why I did this. And then this should be just that. Yeah, this, I don't know, this is actually a little silly. Okay. And we'll just do constants on this here. Const, what do we call these? LM events. We'll do that. And then we'll do const window events. Let's call them event names. So, nope. Ah, yes. Touch scroll handler. Oh, window event names are these 2. Did I did select that, didn't I? All right. Then we'll do an undefined check if off. We'll do this. We run these only. That's the case. List of previous handler. All right. This let scroll handler equals. And then we'll pass in the element. All right. And this is just elem. And now we are adding a scroll handler. And return scroll handler. And that should basically just wrap these calls into one place, and then in the future we can just, you know, fix those. Now we can do attach scroll handler, and we'll do this and this. And that should replace all of these. And then we'll do detached scroll handler as well. And I think here, yeah, we still need the elements. All right. I'm just thinking what's the best way of closuring these. Because these are all global in the global namespace, which is really not a great idea. They should be on framework, to be honest. Or at least a utilities thing. Maybe that's exactly what I should do, huh? So we'll do something like let utilities, and maybe I should prefix this as well. SudokuPad utilities equal. I mean, now seems like a terrible time to do this, but especially since this only has a few functions or one function in it, I can maybe start here like that, and then we'll just return these here. Whoops. And then here, we'll basically have to do something like that. Const chip equals, and this should probably have a better name. Add utilities. We'll just have a global namespace, even though that probably should be under framework. Okay. So if I do this, and I probably want to put this under helpless anyways. Hey Shelby, how are you? So glad you guys could stop by. I can't stream this evening, and I've missed 2 streams, so I said screw it. I'm gonna do a stream now. So I have to go to the sister island for dinner with the in-laws. All right. So detached scroll handler is. Let's have a quick look. It's basically these. And we'll do the same kind of wrapping here. And now we can const these out of here. So we can do something like, we'll just prefix them with scroll element event names and scroll window event names. And we capitalize them as some sort of convention to imply these are, what's the word? Constants. Constants, right. And this goes there. And then this gets just let's rename these to scroll. Let's just leave them as element. There's only one element, so we don't need to distinguish them in any way. And we now need to mirror these. So that becomes that. This becomes pref handler. Use capture becomes true. Pref handler, scroll window. Yeah, to be honest, I think we're better off if we just do this and replace that with rem handler. Right. And now here, we should be able to just do remove, call it detached scroll handler. Calculate element handler, call it lick. And that removes these two. And everything blows up. Of course it does. Make grab scroll handler is not defined. Of course, because script now doesn't have this. So we need to have this kind of thing in the script, in the main script as well. Which I guess technically puts it into the global namespace, which we probably don't want. So let's see if we can avoid this. 2783. So wherever we're creating 278 yada yada. So handle rule scroll is happening here. So I think the idea here was... Yeah, so one of the things this doesn't do well is that it doesn't check if this handler is the same as that. Basically, this lets you assign a new handler to a new element, which is kind of something I don't actually want, because the whole point here was that it only creates the handler once. We don't want to create and although it actually, yeah, you see I figured I can create the handler only once, but it doesn't actually help much, because the attaching and detaching of the handlers doesn't happen very often. So keeping the handler around doesn't actually help us. So I was going to say, okay, if I can assume that the element doesn't change if the handler is passed in, then we can we can conditionally avoid this in subsequent calls. But I think that's gonna make things a little bit too complex, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this down here and just look at how that's done. I'm gonna use a full namespace reference. So we'll do attach scroll handler, and it's gonna work like no. Attach, detach, remove event handler. No, not remove app. That's wrong. Attach scroll handler. Attach scroll handler. And this is detach scroll handler. How did I end up? This is detach. Remove app event handler. Ah, yes, I copied the wrong thing over. Okay. So here now we want to do touch scroll handler. This is the element. And this is our reference function. And we'll assign that here. And we don't need these either. We don't need this. And find where else we're using it. So here we're not even detaching it anywhere. Yeah, we should be detaching it when this thing disappears. But this will work, okay. It's a bit unfortunate because on reformatting this comes and goes. Oh, look at that, spammers. Haven't seen you guys in a while. So if I add these to block list on Restream, do they disappear from Twitch? I don't think so. So, timeout, ban. Oh, but I didn't remove the chat, so that's annoying. So can I... If I ban them... Problem is, if I ban them on Twitch, I don't know if the chat itself, the chat message actually disappears. Can I? No. I'll just ban them. I hope it does the smart thing and just remove the messages. Yeah, in fact, the Restream ban already removed the message on YouTube, which is how it should be. Alright, excuse the interruption. So, we have this now here. Now that doesn't actually fix the issue, right? That just cleans up some things. Ooh, alright. So handle, stop. Handle input down, mouse down false. Start, and then down, okay. But the grabber thing, the grabber code doesn't actually kick in at all. Why is that? Why is that? So these should all trigger. Start, move, stop. Start, move, stop. Now the move here is not doing the moving very well. All right. So what's going on? And I'll put diff as well. I think I might have gotten the way I'm assigning events, event handlers, attaching them out of order. Add, remove, 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 remove. So I can actually call this here because that's the same code. So that's just this. We're just removing it before we're adding it, so we're not ever adding it twice. So elem.puzzleRules. So the element here didn't get converted from a string. Oh. Oh. Because the element isn't available here yet. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, I can just pass that in. But it shows me that this is not doing the conversion properly. Well, it's a lower level function than framework. I should move this code into framework. I'm gonna put this here to move this into framework where it belongs. This was designed to be some like lower level stuff that framework can use, but there's no reason why this shouldn't be in framework. In some way, right? Okay, so now this scrolls, okay. It clicks, okay. Now this scrolls. Yeah, it still sticks, but at least the code is a lot more sane now. Okay. So probably don't need that. Probably don't need that. Okay. Oh my god, it's so hot in here. I have the fan on, the air conditioning cranked as high as it'll go. But it's so hot here at the moment that I'm still just blasting here. Alright, so I say so a lot, don't I? Okay. The trick now is to align the what happens here with what happens in the calculator. Now in the calculator, the trick is that we're listening on the up event instead of the down event. Now for selection, you see that the up happens relatively a while after the down. Now there's two things we can do. We can have a short delay. The problem is the short delay would be probably so short. It'll either be so short that the up event will happen before it finishes, or that it'll also have a problem with the scrolling. Now the other thing we can do is we can just avoid selection starting from outside the area. Or at least from the rules area, because I want to be able to click here and drag down and then release here. I want to be able to do that. But I think it is reasonable to block the down event on the rules dialog. So we can do the same thing that we're doing here. And we basically, this handle down is a very generic just cancel, right? So this might be something to put into the utilities. So we might want to do something like function. What is it? Stop propagation, prevent default. All right, function cancel. Is cancel good enough? Cancel event handler. Cancel. And it basically just does these two things. And we'll just stick that in here. The generic handler. Because then we can use that here. We don't really need to use handle down here. We can pull that out of the utilities just the same. I mean, it's probably not super reasonable to have these kind of silly dependencies, especially... Yeah, I'm not going to do that actually, because later on we might want to do something with the down event here, and then having to figure out again why that is like that seems a bit silly. But in the meantime... Ooh, I don't know what I'm editing here, but this is my master copy. In the meantime, it makes sense to say add down event handler. As event handler, so that's this, and it's not just add handler, no, add down handler, calculated element, rules element. So if this happens after that, it should do what we expect it to do. So I'm not in the right place. Okay, so let's see what happens. Oop, crashes. Interesting. Add event listener. Hmm. 4552 2838 2838. This calculator element. Handle down. I think I just added this, didn't I? 1 second. It's not on the right project. Super secret work stuff. Script. Ooh, this is kind of small. So we want to look at line 283 something something. So I just added this one. I just copied that over and it has no meaning here. So if I click down, it cancels the event handler and the other one doesn't happen, right? So that'll fix this issue for now, but it kind of delegates the effort of fixing this to, you know, wherever the scrolling happens. And this means, or this seems like the sort of thing we want to pass in as an argument to this attached scroll handler, right? And to be honest, this whole thing, like handle rule scroll, should actually have its own sort of detach function sort of attached to it, right? So we could get a bit more complex, where because a function is an object can have properties. This could have its own detach call. So what I'm trying to say is, in general, if I make this sort of a convention across this sort of framework stuff, I could say that this scroll handler will now get a property, right, called detach. Let's call detach self, right? And this is just going to be a simple function that actually calls detach with the same arguments, right? Now, one of the things I'm just realizing is that the detach, it kills it, but it doesn't unassign the variable because it cannot, right? So in here, this handle click doesn't get unassigned, right? So after detach, and I'm curious, I'm thinking now, does this get a this? But we cannot assign undefined to this because it doesn't matter, right? So in this case, we just want to return undefined, which happens anyways. So we can just do this. So if we do this and this, I think I might have to do some other things. And this is on the calculator. Now that only kicks in when I'm actually, yeah. Scroll handler is not defined. Ref handler, I don't know why it's suddenly became scroll handler. Oh, because it's here. All right. I think we should call this more generically handler. So we have previous handler and we have handler. And then there's no confusion. Right. So, got our kill calculator, got a big cage, we scroll, now we hide the kill calculator. And before and after, handle and click attach. No. Why am I calling attach here? This is supposed to be detach. Okay. But I just want to point out that before handle click is a function, but I should also be able to say detach. And let's not call it detach self. And that should also be a function. And we should be able to just call that to detach it. And I'm probably making things more complicated than I should. Something very basic and simple. So now let's kill it. After undefined, undefined. Detach is undefined. So we're returning handler here. That should work. Handle is a function. Yeah, enable, open, scroll, scroll, scroll. And close. So, handler.detach. Yeah. Handler.detach is undefined at this point. Why? So attach element. Let's have a quick look here. This dot handle. Why am I doing this with handle click suddenly instead of handle scroll? God damn it. Doesn't make any sense at all. Now I think handle click has something that needs doing here. And I think I just kind of got my wires crossed and I started using the wrong variable name, and I'm probably screwing a lot of things up here. So in detach, remove, we need to remove handle click, but that's a separate thing. Handle scroll here, we weren't even handling at all. We weren't even removing it. We were down here. Not in, oh jeez. I'm completely in the wrong place here. This should be here. Oh man, I got moved and I was looking at the wrong function. Okay, this is a saner now, I think. So details element is where the scrolling happens. The calculate element we're completely leaving alone right now. It has nothing to do with us. And now these calls should also make sense again. So if I now open this up, all right, and I scroll this, it'll work. And let's keep seeing it, and then we kill it. And then, first of all, when it was created, the detach was a function call, and here, detach is undefined. Okay. Let's do that here. Clear it. Show this. What's going on here? Make this a little bit, whoop, give it a bit more space, right? So we have these two befores. Detach is undefined, but in here, in utilities, handler and handler.detach. Handler. Did I not save this at all? Maybe I was screwing up even worse than I thought. Right, refresh. Yeah, this is not from the kill calculator, right? So, open kill calculator. Here we go. Detach is undefined, but here it is defined. So we're passing this down to here. That is very strange. How can this be the same as this, but handler.detach not be the same as this down here? Because it's handle click, and I'm an idiot. Jeez. All right. This should be it now. Once and for all. Sorry about this goose chase. You've probably been yelling at the screen. So, we got this guy scrolling. And now if I close this, it doesn't have the detach handler. Still doesn't have the detach. Okay, refresh. Add that. Detach. Okay, and then close it. Detach is undefined. Now, is that because... Because I'm looking at handle click again. Alright, I've had it enough. This has got to be it, right? Okay. So that just means we now can just do this. Ah. Except, the cool thing about this is... No, we can't. Because I thought, it can unassign itself, but of course it cannot. Because the closure itself has no access to the variable that it's being assigned to, right? It has no reference to it. And even if it had a reference to it, it still couldn't unassign it, right? No, because it needs more than a reference. It needs... yeah, anyway, pointer stuff. So, we still need to do this. But instead of all of this now, we can just do that. Unfortunately, we can't just call the function itself, because then this thing will not be unassigned. It still be a reference to this function that no longer exists. Well, it will exist, because there's no way of making it not exist. Thanks, JavaScript. So, add it, remove it. And now if we add it again, we're back there, we remove it again, we're back here. Okay. So now let's get rid of all of this noise. And by the time we get rid of all the noise, it should actually be more compact. Less repeated code, etc., yada, 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 right? And now we should be able to do the same thing up here. Except I think we never did do the detach here. All right. Ah, well. So this no longer happens, and I think I'm happy enough with that. I'm not super happy with how it is right now, in the grand scheme of things, to be honest. Let's see what it looks like once we've cleaned it up a bit. Yeah, I also have to be cognizant that I don't have a lot of time today, so let's try to make this clean and, reliable. Try that. Okay, so the make grab scroll handler. I want to do that. Get rid of all the logging. So this is relatively clean, This is now, yeah, you see we removed 8 lines, we've added 3. That's fine. Yeah, this line actually has nothing to do with that. We added that because it was just a missing line. Where's my god, my tabs have a problem. So, where's this? Line 352. So we've added remove up handler. Remove down handle click details. Details element handle click details. Handle click details, calculator on handle click. And down handler handle down. So we should also remove the down handler on the calculate element thing. So this should be remove down handler, this handle down. And we'll add this back in. We'll click there, open there. Yeah, that works. Scrolly works, this scrolly works, and it doesn't do that anymore. Okay, good enough. Good enough. We get rid of that. We get rid of this stuff that's now commented out. So don't need that anymore. The other stuff should actually be super compact. Yeah, because we've gotten rid of all of that. We've added this down handler. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and then we gotta get rid of those as well. 3, 7. 01. I don't think I'll get too much more because it's 4:30. I'm supposed to be on the other island, probably maybe by 6. Takes me about an hour to get there. Ferry, yeah, I'll probably have to start packing, getting ready. It's not gonna be fun driving through the sun. Gonna burn me to a crisp. All right, let's see what we got, and we gotta get rid of that, of course. And we are into our playlist by an hour. Why did the playlist keep going? Wrong button. So, yes. There are these. Dope. There are these. Okay. Now, I think this should resolve... It doesn't resolve all problems because... Ooh. Oh, yeah, okay, not a problem. Well, actually, no, because this only applies to any of these surfaces that use this new scroll handler, and there's only 2, and now both of those take care of their own down handler. So, those should be fine now. Yeah. And it should work for other things as well. And from outside here, I should still be able to select. So I'm hoping that should fix the issue that issues that people have been seeing. All right, and I might as well also do a update of the database. So I don't do that regularly anymore. I used to do this every day, but now since I haven't been working actively every day on this project, I haven't been running the scripts, and I've never automated them. Okay, let's bump the version. This should be a minor. Let's hope my script does the right thing and creates a commit without the changes in it. I shouldn't mix these like that. That was dangerous. Come on, refresh. Refresh, thank you. All right. At least I've done the script that well. Run bump minor. And the new version is... The new version is 0. Ah, well, need to reset this to 0. That script is still kind of broken because when you're bumping minor, it needs to reset the patch version, and I've never implemented proper parsing for the version number. One day. All right. Fix stuck selection after dragging from rules. All right, that should be that patch. And let's see, so that's done. Now, I totally agree with Mark that eventually we want to do... What's happening with... So I'm a message from our dog's GPS tracker. But it's all right. That there's a bunch of tools available for managing dragging and dropping properly, and you should basically I think what was it called? It was actually we pulled it in here. The capture mouse events, right? So that we're grabbing all the mouse events, right? Now, of course, this still leaves the same problem. What if you have a surface that you can both drag, but you can also click, and you want the click to happen on down? Well, that's just an impossibility, right? So you shouldn't really do that. You should do the click always be on the up event. In fact, I wonder if there's something to be found, but probably not, because it's one of those things people don't usually engage in. Handle, drag, and touch, start. Yeah, I mean, probably all of this will say the click and touch will be on up, right? Yeah, in fact, it doesn't even engage with it at all. Yeah. So that's probably just something we can't do. Let me just have a quick look. Prevent global mouse events. Yeah, so basically what happens if you do that, Mark, is that on the calculator you won't be able to tap those things anymore. You know, it would have fixed the issue with the rules dialog, but only because you cannot actually click on the rules dialog. But because you can click and scroll on the killer calculator, preventing global mouse events while you start dragging would immediately prevent all the clicking from happening, right? Set point pay. Yeah, I remember looking into this a long time ago, but there was all sorts of issues with it. Why? And again, it doesn't actually solve the underlying problem, that it's just an impossibility. And again, how reliable is it, right? Does it work on a different device? It's yeah. Let's have a quick look at this, because I feel this is a little bit fuzzier. So let's have a look at the color property that somebody mentioned. Let me see if I can quickly find the puzzle where that issue happened. Ah, here we go. So on this puzzle, let's have a quick look at in F puzzles, and then look at it in here. So what was the issue here? How far back do you have to scroll? Let me see. So like in the last couple of days. I thought they were even screen. So then there's all that color pattern chatter. Ah, here we go. Found the problems using the color of the area. Yeah, so this is something I ideally fix. I see green in R65, row 6, column 5, 6. Here in F puzzles. Here, so he saw a green here. So, in case you're wondering, this is what I'm looking at. So, oh, that for some reason, however, you experienced some weird stuff regarding, but not reporting solid colors. There's something odd going on. Is that this one? Let's see. Is that the same thing? So, what is wrong here? These look the same, don't they? The same cells are colored. For me, they are, however, have been experiencing weird stuff regarding display certain aspects as well as over the past couple of days. Not all the green cells are getting converted when this puzzle is open in CTC. Well, all of these are being converted. Still very irritating mobile desktop. Yeah, okay, that one. That's weird. In F puzzle, I didn't notice it drew in slightly after the other green. Maybe it's a script I have installed. Ah, because it's the multicolor thing. All right. So I think because I don't have the multicolor script, I'm not seeing these things the same way as Malrog did. I guess the colors are here. So we're looking at row 6. No. Row 5, index from 0. Is that it? Candidates. 3, 5, 6, 7. No, wait a second. What am I looking at here? Grid. These are the rows. 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be that row. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be the... Why does it only have only candidates here? No cell background colors. Ah, here we go. Candidates 9. Maybe he fixed it? Wait, where did the other thing go? It's 3. And it's 9. C. I think it's that multicolor script. So let me look at pinned. And I'm not as well versed as I should be. How to install script. Script index. Script index ID. So I'm looking at the F-puzzle scripts. So I can grab the multicolor one. Multicolon add dot lookout lines. Presentation. No, that's Sudoku solver. Multi color. Is that the one? So I guess that goes into Temper Monkey. Where do I do that? Do I just... No. Where do I put it? Where do I put it? Please, Dumper Monkey, let me install something. Abilities. Port from here. Alright, here we go. Bada, bada bing. Alright. Okay, so that should now give us the screens. Right. And it should also give us more data in the JSON editor. In this one, I think. 4. So 3 has a color, and then 4 had the same color in multicolor. Okay, so I'd like to actually add handling this correctly to my import script if I can. That would be a nice to have, actually. Before I do that, let's commit this. Oh, we already committed it. Yeah. Okay. So to do that, first I gotta switch to using the unminified version of our importer, and then we gotta look at our importer how it sees this data. So I'm suspecting it doesn't handle these C arrays at all. So we have C. So somewhere in up here, it's handling the grid and it's pulling out colors. Okay, for each cell, all right. Grid, cell, C cell. So if I refresh this now, it'll have a whole bunch of stuff here. Some of them will have a color. Cell C cell dot C. So what we can do is let's do this. No, not dollar. What am I doing? No, not backslash. My brain is %s, right? It's been so long. Been working too much in Unity. Everything looks strange. All right, so these have colors. RC, cell.c, and then we have cell.c array. Now, cell.c array, my thing doesn't actually handle pre-given multiple colors. I don't actually know in fpuzzle what that even looks like. So in fpuzzles, how can I change constraint tools? I guess just the same way I would do this, I would put a color in, center, highlight. So yeah, I don't support highlights as part of the given data. I guess but I think the implementation of that would be a separate thing. Oh, we have to be like center marks and so on. Hey, NFS help. Yeah, no, it didn't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna pull the first color out. I think that's acceptable. I could also say if there's a list of colors and there's only one color, use that. But if it's multiple colors, ignore it. I could do a warning. If cell.c or cell.c array right, and then if yeah, actually what we're gonna do is and here we're gonna do this. Like that. So worst case scenario, this comes through as undefined, right? If cell.c array.length is greater than 1, and here we're gonna do I don't like doing this so many times. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do. I think let call. And then we'll do if cell.c is undefined. Let's see. If I have a feeling I have like a I need to handle a couple of different. If this is the case, right? Then we want to do that. Else if array.isArray. So let's see array. We'll do that. Then what we want to do is nope. We don't want to do that. We want to do this. Then we want to do a warning. If dot length greater than 1. Dot warning. Thing. If puzzles for coder does not currently support multiple given colors. Please submit this puzzle for testing. Right. So that's just a warning. And of course, we're not in Unity land anymore. And now, so let's see. Call parse int. Yeah, so we could do this. If highlight colors parse int call is undefined, and then finally if, and what do you expect here? A string, right? In the end, if type of call equals string, do this. Right. Any things I'm missing? Yes. Missing this. So here we're just checking if it's a number and indexes into this highlight colors field, like it's some sort of default color set from fpuzzles, then it will also accept it. Otherwise, it needs to be a string. I don't think there's any other way of passing colors through that makes sense. Okay, so if I do this now, we don't get the warning because these all only have 1, but now we get these colors coming in. I think that's fine. And the changes should only be this block here. And we changed from checking if the color is not equal to undefined to checking if the colors are string in the end. I think... You know what? I feel a bit funny about this. I'm just gonna say if it's not undefined. Because maybe there's something I forgot about where undefined gets passed through as a color, or maybe even null. In fact, right now, null will get through. Okay, so we'll just do this. If call. So if it's a truthy value. If it's 1, it'll pass through. If it's 0, if go to 0, A, B. So 0 comes through as false. Yeah, we don't want that either. If call equals okay, I guess what I really want is undefined or null doesn't include call. My god. I can't believe I'm doing an array check here. But ultimately, it'll work. Except it doesn't. If not. There we go. All right. Let's see. Is there any type checking we need to do? We're checking if it's an array here. We're doing an assignment here. The only, like, because I was just thinking, if I assign this as a default value here, and then have the if here instead of an else, the problem is I don't want a cell array overriding col if col already has a value. We could do it obviously in one line, right? We could say col equals cell.c. And I think this is what we had earlier. Default to an array. Get the first element, right? And then we can get rid of all of this. And then we can do this just for the warning. So then we can do this and cell.array.length is greater than 1. Then do the warning. Get rid of all of this. It'll be a bit shorter. Don't know if it's worth the lack of obviousness. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm spending too much time on this already. Okay. So I think that'll fix that. All right. And that means we need to minify that. I hope that's the one I usually use. Does that compute? All right. Can go back to min. And this should also be a minor bump, I think, not a patch bump. And refresh, and that seems to work. And now we have a version 3.7. Where is the bump on the script? Hello. Refresh. And script should have been updated. That's a little strange. 0.17342. What's going on, Scripty? Oh, that was odd. What? Whoa, did I just push that before? How did I do that? Wow, that completely broke the patch script as well. Well, that's okay. Nobody will ever see that. And that's it. Enable F puzzles C color importing. All right, that should do that. C color, right? C color. No, C array. Color array importing. Okay. All right, 2 down. That's not bad. All right, that's it. I think I don't have time for more, but that's not bad. I don't know if that is something that's really actionable, because I feel like that's probably limited to my touch device. And I'm not even sure if it happens every time. Well, yeah, that definitely is a problem. See that? It's pressing here, even though I'm here. That's a bit of a problem, because I'm not actually doing anything fancy here. These are just HTML elements, and I'm just expecting the clicks to get registered correctly. Let's have a quick look at that. but I probably won't have time to fix it, I'll be honest. So, in the killer calculator, we are handling clicks. And I think handle click details is what's supposed to be kicking in here. Yeah, I shouldn't even have a thing here. In fact, I should have removed that before. Now, if I click this and I click here, handle click details. So when I click here, it's not even firing click details, right? Because that is not a click details. So I'm thinking there's something wrong with the way it handles. What's the word? What I'm looking for? Oh, geez. Some sort of position offset thing, and CSS is just getting it wrong. Let's make this bigger. So does it happen in... Yeah, it definitely happens here as well. So it's not just in event details, it's also here. Class list toggle, open, short, open. Okay, wait a second. So event dot target, I guess. Target event dot. And I'm basically looking for the positions. We have a timestamp here. So changed touches or just target touches. Changed touches. Wait a second. Touches. Input touches, touchless 0. Change touches, touchless. That's weird. I'm actually not super familiar with this because I'm actually I've never done any multi-touch stuff, right? So I just grab the first one and I don't really know what the rest mean. So if I open this now and I click here, touch list, touch list. So the first touch list is length 0, the second touch list is length 1. So touches in this case is actually not filled, which is kind of strange. And if I do this on the handle up, down, handle click, right? So also the touches is always empty. Interesting. So let's look at change touches 0 then. This is the one that does a thing. Okay. We have screen X, screen Y, client X, yada yada yada, client Y. So page X, page Y, 4, 3. So these look all to be the same. Okay, so let's just output these here. Like that. And then the target here, in this case, is div class summary, right? So the target, I want to have top and left. Basically, I want to map our mouse position to the positions of the object and see how they overlap. And see if it's just confused or if it thinks it's doing the right thing. Okay, so the target does not have a top and a left. Object.keys. Object with a small b. Open up. Object.keys. Event 0. Come on. Do I have to go offset top. Is that what we're looking for? I know there's a whole bunch of like screen X, screen Y, offset top, offset, all sorts of different ways of saying the same thing. None of them make any damn sense. Click on here. So 0093. Oh, we do want to read that. If I click here. So we have a digit 1. And we need to get bounding boxes because we need the position relative to the screen, right? So we're looking at page X. So I've done this many times. Find bound. Nope. Find bound. Get bounding box. Come on. Bounds. Bounds. Resize board. Board bounds. Get content bounds. Content bounds. I think I'm actually doing it myself here, which is just a sad state of affairs. That because it's SVG. HTML element get bounding box. Bounding client rect. Okay, let's try that. Let us try that. Yada yada yada. Open. Clickety click. So we have an X and a Y. X is 405. Here the X is 447. The Y is 114. So this looks definitely like it's in the right place. So I understand why it thinks it should be clicking here. Now if I click on this, X, Y is 136, and the click was at 141. 136 plus 10. X is 406. Height. So here it's I'm in the right row. Okay, so I definitely am hitting the right row here. So on the LI, Y is 135, and my click is at 144. Now if I click here on that, if I click on that, it's definitely the X that's off, not the Y. Yeah, the X is off. Why is the X off? Well, so if I do like this, it'll create a thing, right? And I add a style object. I'll make it, let's see, position. Oh, what am I doing? Position absolute, top 0, left. Left 0, and I think these need to be, no, 0 is fine here. Top left 0. Background red. Height 500 pixels. And width. So this one was X405 width 405px. That cool. Oh yeah. All right. Document body dot append child. Oh. Oh. Display style, position, block. Display block, position, absolute, left 0, top 0, right. So I'm just, God damn it, I'm just adding a little debug box that I know has a specific size with 405, X, background, red. Right, so this aligns with that. So that is indeed at 405. So now let's press the 2. So we click the 2 according to this. And the 2 is 438. So the 2 is at X438. So now if I make this 438, that's the 2. Now if I click here, I am indeed clicking the 2. But now I'm clicking the 3 apparently. So my mouse is right now at 441. Here it is at 441. Which looks good. So 441 is definitely on the 2. But we're clicking the 3 here. And the 3 is at 448. Which is also true. So why does it tell me that this thing at 441 is in this one, which is at 448? That's a bit weird. So I'm starting to wonder if we have too many touches going on here. So if I do this, oh yeah, that sucks. Well, so if I click here, if I click here, if I click here, if I click here, so X408, Y118, Y127. So it feels like I'm pressing the wrong row, except now I am not. It's almost like the X and Y are connected somehow. So here it's clicking the right row. Here it's clicking higher up. Let's add a mouse move handler and let's put something on the screen. So do tag is div. Parent is document.body. Style is position absolute. Top is 0px. Left is 0px. Height equals, let what do we call this? Cursor and we'll give it a background color. RGBA, we'll make it red at 0.5 opacity. Now I think this style stuff here I'm not using the right syntax. I need to quickly check what it's supposed to be. So div. So it gets a style property here. Do I have to use CSS text or something? 1 second, framework. Nope. Style. Let's style. I mean, it looks like it's accepting a style object in here. It looks like it. Quick example of using style somewhere. Ops.style. Class name. Style. Must have inlined some style somewhere. Come on. Ah, it's a string. All right, I can do that. It's a string. Fine. Get a string. All right. Okay. And now we'll add a move handler. So that should grab our mouse moves once this thing's open. I'm guessing add move handler isn't a thing. Should be a thing. Looks like it should be a thing. Move handler, add up, down, add move event handler. I guess we'll have to do capture true. Use capture true. We want to grab it first, right? Before something else grabs it. Seems like move only fires when I'm pressing the mouse button down. Why is that the case? That's strange. I think we're gonna just do that. I don't know what the hell's going on there. That's very strange. There must be another move that swallows it at a higher level. If I put it on the window, I get first dips on the move event. Man, why does the move event only fire? It must be that something else is handling the move events and then swallows them. Come on. Think. Who's doing this? Passive false, let's capture true. Add move handler. handle touch move. Handle input move. I have a feeling this one kills it somewhere along the lines, right? Handle input move. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's a touchscreen. It's a touchscreen. It's a touchscreen. It doesn't know we're moving when... Unless the mouse is down because we're not touching. All right. All right. My gosh. All right. Sorry about that. I had a moment. So. Jeez Louise. Okay, so. We gotta look at those target touches, right? We've got screen X, screen Y, page X, page Y, client X, client Y, yada, 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 right? So, same thing here. Page X, page Y, right? Mouse is down, page X, page Y, okay. And now we can do this. Term.style dot width equals x math dot round to the nearest pixel, add px at the end, right? We'll do the same for y and height, and then we fix our little typo here. Okay, so that looks correct. Canary properties of undefined reading 0353. It means we don't have any change touches. Let's just do that. So if I click, right, there won't be any change touches. Won't there be any touches at all? There's gotta be some kind of touch, right? Or is it just the regular stuff? If I move, I don't get... Oh, that's annoying. All right. So basically, if you don't move, it uses the standard stuff here with client X, client Y, right? Okay, so let X equals event X and Y if event dot changed touches 0. Here we can do just event dot client X. We'll grab it if it exists. And if it doesn't exist, we grab it out of these guys. So X equals HX. I think I'll do this, right? If I grab one of these, change touches, and look at these, they also have page. So let's use client instead of page. Let's stick to the same things here at least. X, Y. So X, Y, and we round these. So it's easier to log and easier to see what's going on. And I still don't actually know what the problem is, which is kind of annoying. X and Y. And I really need to finish soon. ASAP. Alright, so if I drag this, okay. If I move it, if event change touches, that, yeah. And if I click, undefined reading 0, if event or change touches. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Okay, if I do this, open this up. So I do this. Okay, if I click here, you see that's a weird thing. So we go here. It clicks, but it doesn't update the position over here. And in fact, handle click fired but my mouse move, touch move did not. So mouse down, touch start, mouse up, touch end. Right, those are the equivalents. So if I click here, what event am I even getting here? Click details. Okay, these are still firing, but my guy up here isn't. Clear. So if I just tap once, what do I get? I get a touch event, and the event type is touch end. But this doesn't fire. You'd think it'll get dips using capture. Document. Is it bubble? No, it's use capture, right? But capture should give us first dips before the other event handlers. Is it because we're not adding it early enough? That's probably why, maybe. Just do this. No. This is still firing first. And it's not even using use capture here. So, capturing phase, none. So use capture should be event use capture. Sorry, I'm googling stuff off screen. I'm just looking up, you know, this basic stuff. Like use capture is supposed to get you first dips, right? Use capture. Boom. Boolean value whether events of this type will be dispatched to the register listener before being dispatched to any event target. Beneath it in the DOM tree, events that are bubbling upwards through the tree will not trigger listener designated to use capture. Event bubbling capturing are two ways of propagating events. The event propagating mode. Use capture defaults to false. Ironically, it doesn't actually tell you what happens, right? It only tells you what happens if you already know everything else. If you already kind of know. But capture is supposed to happen first. HTML event order. So use capture. Event loop, yada yada yada, moves. Event order. So, yada yada, usual stuff. Okay, that's bubbling, but former click, capture. So, bubbling phase, capture phase. So it goes from window down and then bubbles back up. Down to the element. Capturing phase, the event goes down to the element. Target phase, the event reaches the target element. And bubbling phase, the event bubbles up from the element. All right. Oh, it's not use capture, it's just capture. Oh my god. Seriously? Seriously? I think I might have made this mistake more than once. this might be a bit of an error. Yeah, I'm wondering if capture true versus use capture true, which is the correct syntax. And now I suddenly don't know anymore. Is it capture? Because here it just use capture, but then Jesus Christ, it's not use capture. All of these are wrong. Problem is, if I change them now, I might break it, right? Because it's working with the wrong code. Here. Okay. Okay. So now at least this happens first. But you see, it closed it now. Now I need to figure out. So, see, it clicked this button, but positioned it correctly, in theory, right? So these positions are correct. But somehow it ends up touching it over here in the handle click. So, before we do anything else, I want to output the event type, right? Here and here, and also up here. But in addition to this one, I want to do a second debug object now. This dot debug elem, and we're making this blue, right? Okay. Now, in the bubble phase, I guess target won't be available yet. So, the event that finally fired is the handle click. And here we're getting a bounding rectangle, right? And the position here, 419, width, 129,118, height, 0.41. So, this doesn't make any sense. How can the height be 0.41? I think the target we're hitting here is not the target we're actually dealing with. And somebody wants to get banned. Yep, exactly. All right, so I've got a position here, 448121. Touch start, touch end, mouse down, mouse up, so it triggers multiple times. Joy. The joys of the legacy-laden event system. Now, this DOM rectangle is the summary div. Now, why? Okay, this is height 7.81. Okay, that's fine. So if I add 7.8 to 405, sorry, to 114, okay, that makes sense, right? That makes sense. Now, if I click here, that also makes sense. Now, if I click here. So we're now looking at which object? Handle click details. So let's refresh that. Have a quick look at that. So let's say I'm clicking on that one here. Okay, that worked. Clicking here. Now that registered as a click on the 1 here. Digit include 1. Now this, why is this not, when I hover here, it would be nice if this would highlight in the DOM. Can we grab that here? Digit exclude 1. So that's obviously not where the mouse cursor was, right? And in fact, this X is greater than that. So why does this trigger a hit here? Is it because of the radius? That is interesting. Wait a second. So event touch radius X. It doesn't trigger, triggers wrong element. So I could understand if it triggers multiple elements, right? But it seems to... What if I don't stop propagation here? Will I get multiple things happening? I have a suspicion that's what's happening, and they're expecting me to myself to kind of manage that, which is a bit ridiculous. So if I click between the 2 and the 3, what happens? All right, eventually it hits this one, which also propagates. Let's just return from here for now. But we'll toggle it open first. So we can open it, right? So we're clicking between the 1 and the 2 here. I don't want to toggle it open. I want to set it to open. So we have toggle and we have add. Click that, open that, click between 1 and 2. So what happens? Handle click. Let's click between the 5 and the 9. So we have click details on the 9. The thing is, I don't feel like it's even the closest one, let alone the right one. So I definitely want to click on the 3 now. Like, the center of it should matter. But it doesn't seem to matter very much. And the annoying thing is, it doesn't actually trigger the other clicks. So what the heck is going on here? Read-only proper touch interface returns the X radius of the ellipse that mostly circumcise the area in contact with the touch surface. Same as touchscreen X. This value is a combination of touch radius X rotation and contact with the ellipse, approximately the size and shape of the... This may be relatively large ellipse. Alright, so let's get a little bit fancier here. Right. And actually move this thing. So do that here. Wait. Because this might also trigger just on a click. If I just click here, we have a touch list. Do we get a touch list? Touches. Touches. Length 0. Change target touches, length 0. So we don't have a touch list. Do we get a radius? No. So that's kind of weird, isn't it? So if this happens, and this is on touch end, on touch start, do we have touches here? So on touch, oh man, I think we have to track the touches ourselves. force 1, identifier 1, radius X. I think I've been a bit naive about how I'm handling the touches. Rotation angle 0, radius X, Y. I mean, the radius stuff is super consistent because it's a simulated system, right? How are we supposed to... Like, I would assume it would give me the point. Or it would give me... It gives me a point. The problem is it doesn't trigger objects on that point. This is a bit crazy. Chrome, touch, event, trigger... Wrong element, yeah. Triggers element wrong with Nexus 7. Not just with the Nexus, with the simulator even. Doing kit testing. It's always great when you find a bug report from 5 years ago, and it's apparently still an issue. Yeah, this is not nice. Touch end. Representing inverted points of contact whose states change between the previous touch event and this one. Target touches of all the touch objects that are both currently in contact with the touch surface and were also started on the same element as the target of the event. Print touches. Current point of... my god. I don't even know where to begin here. So we have change touches, we have target touches, and we have just plain touches. Handle click. So this is the upper area. So for example, touch list length 1, length 0, length 0. So here we have change touches. The thing is, we're not tracking from the first touch event forward, so we don't actually have access to all the touch stuff. So I think we need to actually look at them here. So if I do this, clear, this. So we have touch start. Now we have touches, no changed, no, we have touches and change touches and target touches. And then the touch end, we only have these. And if I compare this information here, it looks like it's the same. So, we'll do get touch info. Touch. We'll just do round touch dot client x client y. We'll just turn it into an array. So, and then here we'll do map. Boom. And we'll do that. Right? That should do the trick. God, I hate doing that. Clear. Open. Touches event dot touches or empty array dot map is not a function. So what is event dot touches? That doesn't convert to an array if it's not already an array. That's a bit odd. All right, come on. Tell me what's going on. Touch. Oh, it's a touch list. A touch list. Of course. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Whatever the hell a touch list is. I don't care about your touch list. Oh. Event or touches is not iterable. I think now I finally have covered all the cases. Thank you. Holy moly. Alright, so if I click here, what do we get? We get 2 move events, 1 touch start, 1 touch end. Touch start has something in each one, the same value, and touch end has the same value in change touches. Ironically, the element that takes the click data isn't correct, right? So if I now go to, so we did a handle click and handle click details. So handle click and handle click details, right? So if I do the same thing here and do, man, this mess here. So let's do a little helper function here. Const get event touch xy, right? And then we'll just do all of whatever the hell this is. Turn xy. Oop. Oop, 1 second. Yeah, that's my reminder that I'm late. Let's just do this. I don't know if I want to keep this mess or start over another time, because I'm not sure if I've done anything useful here. All right, let's just quickly. What I want to do is basically just move our debug element to be the position of our whatever here, right? So we'll just make this be x minus 5. Ah, no, wait. We have bounding rect, right? Let b rect equals this. Left equals b rect dot x plus px. Excuse me. And top is y, and width equals b rect dot fit, and height same thing. I think that should do the trick, right? Yeah, so we see that green was a terrible choice, since a lot of the other stuff is green. So let's make it blue. I don't think I'm using blue for that. So click here, open that, click that. Yeah, so it definitely, god damn it. Here it works. Why does it close it there? I mean, oh, because it's clicking. No, but it shouldn't. No, because it's clicking somewhere else to deselect somehow. Why is it deselecting? I don't know what's going on. Why is it deselecting here? Also, up and down seems to be different positions. Here, what the heck? Wait a second. Why in this area does touch down and touch up give me radically different positions? Now, the touch move always seems to be giving me the right. Touch down, touch up. Touch down. Touch start. Touch end. Move. Mouse move. 1 for 1. Mouse up. I'm currently looking here. This is the difference. Touch end. The mouse events are interfering with the touch events. I think that's what's happening. But only in this area. Not exactly. But here, the mouse position is detected in a very different place as the touch position. Touch end. Touch end. Touch end, touch end. Okay, let's get rid of our spammy debugging stuff for a sec. Because I can't see what's going on, but because here we're grabbing mouse events too, but over on these guys, not really. Reading style. Yeah, well, you can't move an object that's no longer in existence. Like that. Away. Touch and touch. You see, if I'm pressing in the same spot without moving my mouse, it shouldn't be selecting radically different things. Now, I'm seeing only touch end here. Touch and click. Touch end, touch end, touch end. It's like it's not updating the touch information if I don't move. As if it doesn't have new information available. Alright, I still don't know what's going on, but there's something. I don't think it's actually an interference between mouse and touch events, but I have a feeling that I need to track the position from a different event and carry it over with me, and I cannot rely on the position given to me by the whatever the end event is, which is really annoying and painful and silly. Like, I really shouldn't have to do that. All right, let's get rid of all the debugging. I don't think there's anything in here that's worth keeping. Probably what I'll do is I'll create a little overlay canvas sort of debugging layer that I can draw on, and then kind of so I can kind of track what's going on, you know. Attach element. Yeah, so I'm supposed to have that. Yeah, I don't need that. I think I can just remove most of this stuff. And that should have been removed anyways. Warn, I don't think. Yeah. All right. Those have all been changed. That's kind of a risky thing, but I'm gonna leave it in. Because it really shouldn't be there. If it breaks, then these need to be changed and removed accordingly. Okay. Yep. And yep. So we haven't really fixed that. 150% zoom. I mean, well, the thing is, I mean, I see it happening on my phone all the time. That's why I'm kind of looking into this. Yeah, you see, it's clicking on the 3 here, and I'm clearly not over the 3. Even over here. Like, why doesn't it click the 4 and the 5? Yeah. Anyway, there's definitely something borked. But I'm gonna bump the minor version anyways, because this little refactor here could potentially be kind of risky. So I want to make sure I have a record of that. And I really gotta run, because I got a ferry to catch, and I don't even know how long it's gonna take me to get there. Refactored. Use capture to capture. It's not even a refactor. Fixed. I'm gonna quote these because these are property names, and it'll tell me. It'll remind me what the hell's going on here. And that's 0175. Alright. That's it. I'm gonna deploy this to testing, and then I'm gonna bail. And if it's broken, oh god, I'll fix it later. And I'm also gonna deploy it on SudokuPad.app. Well, this was an odd one. I'd like to fix that one because that's really weird, but it also feels like that it would mean me getting more into the whole mouse input system and cleaning it up in general, which is not a bad thing. It's just, it seems like a big task. All right. That's it, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Sorry, it's been a bit patchy the last couple of weeks. I think I either don't have a job anymore or I'm in my last week. I'm not sure. I'll find out on Monday. So then things should get back to a more regular schedule. Really appreciate you guys stopping by. You know, it's not like we have no more work to do. There's a lot of issues with the app and a lot of reports, a couple of, you know, urgent things that I would like to get to. And then, of course, you know, there's the big features that I've started working on and that really need to be continued, you know. We're far from done. The editor really wants to come into existence. But I think these were some interesting ones to fix. A small one and a kind of annoying one that a lot of people were experiencing. And these are important before... I think that's... Yeah, that is already on production. I think I'll deploy whatever's... There's only a few small fixes now in testing, so I'll deploy that to production before I start anything bigger. All right, that's it. Thank you very much. Thanks for hanging out. I'm late, so I gotta go. Take care. Have a good one.